Well, that's nice of you to say.
In three, two, one.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Static Show. This is Bob.
Hey, everybody, this is Miles.
It's Flemmy McFlemmer.
Him, him. No, it's a professional
You
podcast.
sound like a gummed up moil.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
All right. Fair enough. Well, we can't we can't start this show without talking about what Miles
Yeah.
and his son did over the weekend. I mean, that's just first and foremost in my thoughts here.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but besides, but till when we get, wait a second, let's not go. No, I'm just joking.
You know, I changed my mind.
I changed my mind.
Miles, what was it like when you were a child?
What? Now I got so many questions for you about this. So, do you want to set this up, Miles, and then I'll ask my questions, or how do you want to go about this?
I will set this up. I kind of previewed this for my wife the other day just to see what I should chop out. I was like,
Is this what you call it whenever you're like getting her in the mood? I'm going to preview this tonight to see if you'll go for it tomorrow.
Something like that? Yes. It was no, because I was like, talking about my bathroom breaks and stuff. I go, no. Why am I including that? So no, we're not going to have that. We're just going to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So the setup is that Facebook tries to pick up on what you're interested in, what you've searched and stuff. And,
right. And how it knew you were interested in this is beyond me, because I would think you'd basically just get pictures of women in lingerie and food.
Cheerleaders and right. You Dr. Pepper ads and stuff. Yeah. So I keep getting these things like from these out-of-state Comic-Con things,
Right. Yeah.
Because like I don't go to any of the big ones. I'm too cheap. I would not go to like the San Diego. There's no way that would happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's too expensive, and so if it's cheap and fairly close, I will go. And
I know, and that's what I always tell you. I envy your proximity to these things, because there's all these cheap kind of opportunities that are a little too far away from me most of the time, and not cheap. So I mean, not in St. Louis, it's not cheap. So
oh yeah, right. Like a real one is going to cost some coin, and then if you want to meet somebody, you might as well just tack on,
right,
big bucks. And I went to one last weekend, the weekend previous, and it was really a letdown. It was like $10 to get in, and there was absolutely no one there. There was like no guests or anything,
Right. Yeah. Well, it was like, give us $10, and then you can look at your parts of your own collection, but on tables that we provide.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, what am I paying $10 for? I don't get that.
Right, exactly.
What did I get out of the $10? I don't know. So I thought I'm not going to go to one, and then I see this thing, and it says something about Hannibal, Missouri.
Right.
I'm like,
Hannibal. Yeah.
That's not too awfully far. It's a day thing. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. And I start looking at it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're going to have any guests. I doubt it. Hannibal. How can they afford that? And then it's Michael, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Michael Beihn.
Right, Michael Beihn, yeah.
The gentleman from Terminator and Tombstone, and he was just in Walking Dead. Aliens.
The
Rock, all the big franchises. The Rock, yes. He was in a lot of franchise.
He was in the new Star Wars Mandalorian show, yes.
Yes, I mean, what a lucky guy! I'm like, holy cow, this guy like hit the jackpot with jing, 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 jing. And I'm like, how in the hell did they land this guy? Because this can't be cheap. Because he's there for like 2 days. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, this can't be right. This has got to be some put on, right? I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, well, maybe I'll go. And no one seemed interested in going. And then my son's. At the last minute, my youngest son's like, let's go, Dad. Let's go. I'm like, okay.
So, let's go, Papa.
All right, too much information. So we're going there, and it said something on the way there. I was like looking at it. It said something like located in the temple, something of such and such church.
Yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
I go, what is this? Is this some weird like cult initiation? What?
Right. They're
luring
you in
weird...
with Michael Beihn, and then you're going to be indoctrinated.
Yeah, I'm like, well, is this like Skynet has something to do with this?
This is like Scientology. You have to reach a certain level before you'll be able to see Michael Beihn, and you have to pay some money.
I mean, nothing against the people who organized this. It was a very nice thing, but I just thought like this is different because usually like it's in community centers or something.
Right. Some church youth group organized this apparently. So.
Yeah, I'm like, now how in the hell did these kids save up all the aluminum cans or whatever it took? Yeah, I still am puzzled by this, and so like once you get off Highway 61, which runs right into
the heart of Hannibal.
The heart of Hannibal, thank you. You kind of zigzag until you get to this place, right?
Yeah, that's my first question was it really at a church?
Yes. And I thought, well, surely they've put up signs to help the out-of-towners. No. Yeah, there's no...
Okay.
There's like no mention of it. Like, you get off on 61 and you start zigzagging. You've got to get on, about 4 or 5 different roads. And,
and then it's on a frontage road, I think.
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
And so there's a sign as you get like within like half a mile of it. There's finally a sign, but
yeah.
I go, this is getting weird. This has got to be some kidnapping thing, or I don't know what this is. It's so weird. And so my son's finally decides to navigate. I don't know. He just I don't know if he was sleeping or what. He finally, like, I sure wish someone get on the camera, the old cell phone and help out old dad.
I don't know where I'm going. What's going on?
What?
I'm lost in Hannibal.
I had to pull over like 3 times to look at my phone. I'm like, let me look at the goddamn phone. And so I get into it, and we're out in the country. It kind of like looks like your neighborhood a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's out in the country, and all of a sudden there's like these posts sticking up out of the ground with like these red reflectors, like you've hit a dead end. I'm like,
right.
I like, oh, there's a church right here. Okay.
That's wild.
And there was like, police and fire trucks and McGruff or whoever the hell they had there.
McGruff.
I don't know who it was. I'm like, okay, well, this must be it, apparently. Right?
Yeah.
I go, well, is it in this church or in back by these like metal buildings that are like in back of the church? I was puzzled. I mean, So
still no signage, huh? Still no signage?
Yeah, there's like a sign. There was a sign about a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And they're like, I go, hey, hey, buddy, where do you park at? He goes, circle around the church and they'll tell you where to go. I'm like, okay.
Hey, McGruff.
Hey, take a bite out of crime, Miles.
Okay. Take a bite out of my ass, you bastard.
And I get around like halfway around the church, and there's like, people flagging me on. And
that's nice.
I go, hey,
so then it's organized at that point. You made it.
Well, or so I thought. And I get to the last flagger, if you will. He goes, yeah, we just filled up. What?
No more parking?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're going to have to go park up by the road. I'm like, what? He goes, go back up by McGruff and he'll guide you where to go. I'm like, are you sure about the... I'm really having my doubts. I'm really like, did I spend hours upon hours getting here just to be in some weird Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
And so we are parked off in a cornfield, which wasn't bad because I was on gravel. But anyway, so we get out and we're like now going to like the rec center, I guess, separate from the church.
Right. Okay.
There's some metal buildings, and they're like, well, go into that metal building. That's where it's at. I'm like, okay.
Go in there and take your clothes off.
Wear this medallion around your forehead. I'm like, okay. And don't drink no coffee. I'm like, all right. And wear the special underwear.
There ain't no pooper back there. If you gotta go, you gotta come up to the main building.
You go out where your car was. And I thought, this is okay. So we get in there. Yes, you had to pay to get in, which is fine.
Right.
And I go, at least I'll meet like a for real movie star.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, he's way in the back, because they always do this. You know, you have to like put like the talent like way the F back, so you have to walk through like all the vendors. Like, oh, okay, all right,
sure, of course, that's strategy, yeah.
And I'm beelining back there. My son wants to stop and look at all this, Lego bullshit. I'm like, no, we're going. We're gonna go see the talent first.
Then we'll come back.
Because there's going to be a solid line to see Michael Beihn. There's going to be 120 people in front of us to see Michael Beihn, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get back there. There's like 3 people ahead of us.
That's it?
Yeah. I'm like, what? Because I'm like, well, maybe this really isn't Michael Beihn. Maybe this is like some lookalike dude,
Yeah.
Like, I'm his cousin Jimmy or something.
I'm Jimmy Bean.
Jim Beam.
Jimmy Bean.
No, Jim Beam. That's what I drink.
God.
And I thought, this is so bizarre. This is just the most bizarre thing. It was inside like a regular Comic-Con, and it was so the upstairs is like the basketball court,
Mm-hmm.
And then there's downstairs, which is a little bit. There's the food's downstairs, and they had some cool stuff downstairs. So anyway, we get in line, and of course, but everyone wants to talk. He was very nice. He was taking his time talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like, all right, next. Like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to sneak shots. And they're like, sir, photography is not free. They were very nice, but it was like, like, hey.
Yeah. Hey, we got to pay for that shit.
You know me. I'm like, I'm going to fork over the money for the selfie. Okay, all right. And what was weird was I was wearing like my What About Bob t-shirt, the one that says
right. I wondered if that was actually the same one. I saw it and I'm like,
that is exactly. My wife got me this shirt a while back, and it was the first time I wore it. And we went up there and we're talking to him, and he looked at this shirt and he got such a weird look on his face, like
okay.
Like for a brief second he just got like this really he read it and just had like this really weird like
he probably tried to place it,
Well, he's probably like thinking I was like the cult guy, like
right.
Maybe
yeah,
he's trying
no kidding.
You're like, what?
You do look like that guy from Hail Bop, whatever his name was, that Hail Bop guy.
Nincome. Yeah, that's me. That's Bo Peep or whatever the hell their names were.
Right, yeah, Bo Peep.
But, I don't remember what I said to him. So we got the selfie. We looked around a little bit. I came back and got a picture signed.
Yeah. Well, when you came back, how many people?
Maybe one.
Really?
Yeah, I could not believe it. I'm like, wow. That
is incredible.
Now, this was a 2-day event. So, they had previously been open on Friday night. So
right.
maybe... But we were there pretty much at the opening
on Saturday. Well, you may have been a little early, maybe.
I don't know. I was just like, sometimes you think like, oh, I don't do it. It's a bad idea. But you get there, it's like, wow, there's no one here.
That's amazing. I'm surprised. I don't even know who they had. Like they had 3 people, I think, on the information you sent me, and
right.
The other 2, I don't even know who the fuck they were. But I'm like, wow, Michael Bean is going to be in Hannibal. This is amazing,
Because there was a guy that did some voice talent for Star Wars and
whatever,
things like that.
Whatever the fuck.
I'm like, and then there was another guy that did anime. I don't know. I didn't really know who they were. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Did they have a bunch of people at their booths, or you didn't see?
There was a line for the guy that did like the Star Wars voices. Actually,
really?
There was a bigger line for him.
Really?
Yeah, we were behind Skeletor. We were talking to Skeletor, waiting for our turn.
Okay.
My son finally just jumped out of line. Like, I'm not going to wait. Forget it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
But
how wild! So, you got to talk to the man? Did you talk to him? You ask him some questions?
I thought I was just going to freeze up because I was like, oh fuck, I know I'm just going to fanboy out here and just like, God damn it, You know, just like, you know, but all I really talked about was his recent appearance in The Walking Dead. I go, man, you guys really had me fooled, man, because I didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ends up getting killed in that episode. But
well, there you go. Thanks for ruining it for me.
Yeah, so if you're behind Walking Dead, yeah, but you don't see it coming. You know, you're like, oh, okay, like, oh, yeah. And like they turn the tables on him and kill him. I'm like, oh no. Shit,
how weird.
He's like, yeah. I don't. My son actually talked to him more than I did.
I'm surprised you didn't say something inappropriate. You know, like, what's Lyndon Hamilton like in the sack? Or
I thought about that after we left, because I'm like, man, like, like, would you? Yeah, I don't know. I want to be kind here. I don't want to be.
You know, it's like whenever you're on Linda Hamilton in the Terminator movie, was James Cameron giving you the evil eye, or
did he give you some tips about what you might be into, or yeah? I'm
like, wow.
Do you remember when you were naked in the Terminator?
When you came into the bubble, you know?
Yeah. That was great.
That was great. You lead with that. My
favorite scene is when you're
naked. That was great. Then he would be yelling, next. So how much did you throw down for this whole little shenanigan here?
Well, I can't really say because my wife's in the room. But I'd come back to get the autograph because they had a bunch of 8x10s and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Different movies, and I go, hey, he'll sign this. Oh yeah. I go, he'll personalize it. He goes, yeah. He goes, he'll even sign Val Kilmer's name if you want.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
well, I go, I'm more leaning towards Kurt Russell myself.
Oh, wow. Mm. Oh, wow.
Then they're like, sir, get the hell out of line, please.
They're
sir.
like,
But
so like, can you just give me? Was it $100? Was it more? I say more. More?
It was
$100.
Shut. Quiet. I'm allowed to say yes.
Well, I'd say well worth it.
Yeah, he's like, no, what do you want me to write? And I'm like, okay, to Bob and Miles. Tune into
so just a minute ago, you said your name was Bubba.
Bubba Freelove. That was your name.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, wait. Say this again. To Bob. Yes, to Bob. Right. To Bob and who? Yeah. Miles.
Yeah.
M-I-L-E. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what? Tune into whoa, slow that down. Tune into what was static. It? Which was weird because he's like, oh wait, static, that ends with the C, right? I'm like, yeah.
Maybe he's just messing with you. I don't know. Maybe he's got brain damage.
I don't know. I mean, he was a very nice guy. He probably was like, I had this weird t-shirt on, which I think weirded him out.
Yeah.
And he's like, because I really don't think he knew what that was from. Like, no one said anything about this shirt. I wore this shirt all day. No one said anything to me about the shirt.
I noticed it in the picture, and I said, I think that's that shirt from What About Bob?
Yeah, I knew it. See, I knew you would notice it. I go, because you study pictures. Like, you study everything in a picture, even very little details. You're always like zooming in and like, oh, I can see your trouser, your button, your flag button.
My other statement was, hey, it fits him. He's got a shirt that fits.
Yeah, well, for the most part, yeah.
I mean, your belly wasn't hanging out. I was going to say, thank God your belly wasn't hanging out with your Michael Bean photo.
Yeah, I know. That's all I need. I know, because I have taken pictures where I'm like kind of like like my belly shirt.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to be Britney Spears' backup singer.
Oops, I did it.
But
I probably should have engaged him more, but I don't know. I didn't want to. Fanboy out too much. I was like,
why? You're only there once. Come on, this is their chance.
Well, there's this dude ahead of us that was actually dressed like him from like Aliens.
Right. Yeah.
And that conversation went on quite a while. I'm like, okay, well, all right.
You should have got your time. He didn't care. He was just hanging out.
No, that's okay. No, I mean, I took some time too. I just, was like, hey, man, cool thing, dude.
How interesting. So was it worth it overall? Would you think it was worth it?
It was. I mean, no, it was. I think the takeaway was just the location, and there's nothing against the church or anything. I just thought it was just funny. The location just seemed so bizarre. I'm like,
well, it's a small town. I mean, what are you? They could have had it, I guess, at the hotel or something. But
yeah, well, yeah, we were thinking about it. We had a hotel or a big community center or something. But
maybe the hotel was too expensive or something. So they're like, hey, we'll just hold it at the. The next
and it was fine.
area.
I mean, it was. Yeah, no, I mean, it was really cool because you couldn't play with the stuff downstairs. But they had like air hockey and skee ball, and like, oh my god, this is the best church ever. I would go to this church immediately, just based on it.
Right.
They had like these purple pool tables and stuff. I'm like, man, they got everything. Holy cow!
Wow. Well, see, this is probably how they're making money. They're gonna, that money's gonna go back into doing stuff for kids or something. So.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. I'm like. My thought, it'll be a hard question to pose, but the question that I would have asked would have been, why here? I'm sure you get asked, for Michael Beihn. I'm sure he gets asked to go to all these things all over the place.
Yeah.
Why here?
Well, I'm thinking like, okay, it can't be cheap to bring in Michael Beihn for 2 days.
No, well, you got to get him there, and he had to fly into St. Louis because there ain't no way he's flying into Hannibal.
Well, that's why I thought, okay, he flew into St. Louis, definitely.
Got to get him up there. Yeah.
And I go, that's got to be at least $5,000. It's got to be.
It's got to be. And then they got to put him up for 2 nights.
Yeah.
And feed him, and possibly one other person if he has a handler.
He had a handler. Yeah, his manager was there or something.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is like a $10,000 plus kind of situation here.
I would think. I mean, this has got to be some serious. No, this isn't like, well, I was like the red-shirted guy in Star Trek Episode 2.
No, this guy. I mean, he's still doing. I mean, he was in The Mandalorian. He's in Walking Dead.
I know. This is like a legit movie star.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
I'm wondering if he had like, maybe he's got like relatives or something, and he visited them, and or maybe he just had a hole in his schedule and he was going to be in St. Louis anyway. He's like, I'll run up and do this thing for just to fill the dates. You know what I mean? So
it was just neat because I always go to these things. There's always just someone that either you don't know or it's very lame or, it's like,
Well, I want to tell you, you've seen 2 people now that I'm blown away by.
Yeah. Who was the first?
Him being one, Michael Beihn.
Yeah.
And Deep Roy.
Yeah, I wasn't as impressed with Deep Roy, but yeah, I mean, I know he's been in a lot of stuff, but it was just like, oh.
Well, maybe not impressed by him, but the guy has, a catalog of things he's been in that's just fantastic. Yeah. So,
I thought you were going to say George Takei. I was hoping you would say George Takei.
I was cheated out of George Takei, but anyway.
What?
No, I wasn't.
You had to do some family bullshit.
I did. I had some family stuff
I can't go. It's my Nana's birthday or something.
I did. Okay. I was cheated out of Star Trek 2009 movie tickets.
Yeah. You got screwed out.
George Takei is up there too. He'd be in the top 3 certainly. But yeah, Deep Roy, Michael Beihn, and George Takei are and Nichelle and Walter. That grouping, that's never going to happen again. And I got you into that, by the way, if you don't remember. I wrote off and got you, access. Don't forget that.
And I used your free movie pass, so thank you.
And you stole my movie pass.
It was a win-win for everybody, really.
But I mean, this is why I'm always so jealous of you in these little small places, because just every once in a while, it's like treasure hunting. You know what I mean? You found the treasure. That was the treasure.
It is like you just put, in this rock pile looking for the diamond.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
There's one in here. You're gonna find it, but you're gonna have to dig a little bit. You know,
and you found it. You're lucky boy. Well,
no, I'm very. I say kudos to the people that put this on. It was, it was cool. It was really cool bringing him in. Man,
it was the Big River Comic Con, I think, is what the name of it was.
I would say that might be the biggest movie star I've met, probably.
Yeah, probably,
hands down.
Yeah, as far as movies go, yeah, definitely. Not like pop culture icon, but close. Yeah.
Yeah.
George Takei, I'd say, would be a pop culture icon.
And I met Jim Belushi once too, I guess.
Yeah, he don't count. Don't even give him. He's not even.
Well, he's a weed.
Yeah, so. No, don't give him. No.
Yeah.
No,
that was probably the weirdest encounter with him. But yeah. That got weird.
Well, I was going to tell a quick story, if I may.
You may.
So you went to see Michael Beihn on that weekend on the Thursday, Friday. I went to Champaign, Illinois.
Okay.
And you never even commented on it. I sent you a picture that was uniquely Champaign, and you did not even comment whenever I sent it to you.
I didn't, but can I just finish? I would say one quick thing. Sure. I was so hoping you would say, you know what, I'm going to Hannibal. I'll meet you in Hannibal. I was so hoping to see those words. I was like, come on.
I wish I would have now, but I thought about it briefly, but I had been gone for a few days, and I'm like, I can't run up to Hannibal now at this point. So
yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so you were in Champaign. You sent me this picture, and I was a dick, and I didn't say anything about the picture.
Anything. Anyway, so I sent you a couple pictures. So my wife had to go to a conference, and I'm taking full advantage of this work from home or wherever opportunity that I have right now. And I said, hey, I don't have a lot scheduled. I'll go with you.
Ah, the old +1.
So she's like, yeah, why don't you come along? I'm going to Champaign. I'll be there for the day. We're going to spend the night. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like fun. Let's go do this. So, she agreed to it. And she thought, yeah, this would be kind of nice. We'll get to have some dinner together. We haven't done a lot of that because of the COVID and other things. And, and so we went and we had dinner, and I sent you a picture of the Gabby Goat or whatever it was in Effingham, which is very nice, kind of nice place there. If you're in Effingham, I would recommend it. It was very tasty. And so we, went to she just looked it up, has good ratings. We said, okay, that's where we're going to have dinner at on the way up to Champaign, because we went late on Thursday. So
yeah.
So we sit down, and it's like, okay, well, she gets her dinner paid for, and I have to pay for mine. And so we had to split everything in order to make it work out for the expense account. And so I'm like, well, what are you going to get? And she's like, oh, I'm going to get this. And I said, okay. And they were known for their hand-cut fries, which I'm like, oh, that sounds good, because, I like French fries, especially homemade French fries.
Steak fries.
Yeah, and so she's like, well, I'm going to get those. You get the onion straws, or the onion strings, or whatever the hell they call them. I'm like, all right. I still like those too, but we'll share. So we sit down and eat, and the hand-cut fries, I mean, they were so good. They were Effingham good. Yeah. I was really enjoying those, but she liked them as well. The onion thing's not so good, but I did eat them, and I apparently ate too many.
Uh-oh. You get gassy.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I know where this is going immediately.
So we get to the hotel, a little while later. We get to the hotel, we get settled in, and it's time to go to bed, and we're like, well, it's like a little mini suite, so it's only got one double bed, and then it's got like a couch and a living room style area and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, she's like, well, we'll have to, there's only one we have a king size bed at home now. We've had it since the fire. And I'll tell you, it's a life changer if you don't have one, Miles.
I don't. No.
Yeah. So, well, actually, you slept in my bed when you visited, so you know how good that bed is. It's very.
Oh,
good.
I violated your bed. I'm going to be honest with you. Man.
Well, I don't really want to hear about that. But
I wouldn't use that pillow anymore.
Yeah. Thankfully, we got rid of the pillows after you left and the sheets. But but it's a big bed. I mean, it's huge, and so we're like, okay, we're gonna have to be in the small bed, and so we're trying to get situated because as a married couple, you have these kind of rules where one side's your side, the other side's her side, and you got to try to figure that out when you're in a hotel.
Yeah.
At home, it's easy. All your shit's on one side of the bed, and that's just where you lay down it. So we had to figure that out. No, I'm on this side. So we finally get laid down there, and then my wife can't figure out the heating and air conditioning thing. The little thermostat's not working. So I figured that out, and we got the air going and everything, and we finally lay down to go to sleep. And then I had too many onions.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, the factory is pushing out a lot of gas.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like that Warner Brothers music. Do 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 do. So, and it's it's bad. It's bad. But it's not, horrible. And she's like, come on, we got to turn the constant fan on. We can't have this thing kicking off and on with you blowing this bad gas at me. So I'm like, yeah. So we get that all situated. So then I fall asleep. And I don't know how long it was. I don't know how long asleep I was. I am rudely awakened.
Uh-oh.
I am literally being punched in the back really hard. She's like, you're fucking killing me. Boom, right? I'm like, huh?
I like it rough.
She's like punching me in the back and elbowing me. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you're killing me. You're gassing me out. Oh my fucking God. It won't go away. No. Earlier in the night, it didn't bother me that much. I'm like, yeah, whatever. No big deal. She's like, you shit your pants? No. I literally let one loose that was like a blanket of funk that laid over the both of us.
Can you go show this, by the way, blanket of funk?
It was so heavy, wet, and stinky.
I'm going to be sick. I am going to throw up.
I felt like I was Spider-Man shooting a web out my ass.
I'm getting a bag out right now. Holy cow, I'm going to throw up.
And so then she's punching me, and then she's like, turn on that fan. Make sure that fan's on high. It won't go away. It won't go away. And I'm like all groggy. I'm like, okay, I'm trying. I don't know. What did I do? What did I do, Ma?
Oh my God, this is sick. Oh my God.
And so finally it dissipates, but she's so angry with me. She's like, you're never eating onions again with me. Never again. She's yelling at me. And I've been asleep. God. I don't know how long. I've been asleep maybe for half an hour. I don't know.
What did I do?
Yeah,
what?
Finally it dissipates. I mean, it took forever. Yeah. And then we finally got back to sleep. But I'm like, oh my Lord, I have not had that violent a reaction.
Yeah.
In years. I don't know what they put in these things, but she's like, it's in the drapes, it's in the bed sheets. They're going to charge me for this. You know what I mean?
I got pink eye.
Exactly. I got pink eye. There's an episode of SpongeBob where he eats this onion ketchup concoction that he makes. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
probably.
And he starts talking and it balls up and it like bowls people over and stuff. It was like that. It was just terrible.
Yeah. Oh God.
And so now I'm not going to get to go on any more of these things. You know.
You should have went to Hannibal, dude.
I should have stayed home and went to Hannibal. Yeah, probably. She was not happy, and then she didn't get any sleep, and then she had to go do her thing, and
everyone's looking at her when she walks in the room, like, oh,
yeah,
did she?
Ooh, she's clothes. Yeah.
Did she beef? Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, it was bad. So, I can't. This is at least the reaction wise. I've had one other reaction like this, but I wasn't sleeping with anyone at the time. Yeah. Back when I worked at UPS, I had a bunch of onions, and I farted, and literally people who were, if you've ever worked at UPS, it's all trailers lined up. People who are 5 trailers away were yelling at me because it smelled so bad. And they were throwing packages at me and yelling, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And, you're cancerous.
Oh God.
That's the last time that I had that violent a reaction. I can only compare it to. And
that was your last week at UPS.
No, I worked there a while longer, but everybody was mad. They were so mad at me. They were throwing things at me.
God damn it.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck did you eat? I mean, at that place, it was all very, very harsh, so.
Stinky son of a bitch, redneck.
They're like, if whenever they turn this at break time, I'm going to come up there and beat your ass.
I'm going to kick you in the a-hole.
Yeah, somebody stick a box in his butt. So anyway, it was horrendous, and I've had to apologize and, make amends. And promise that I won't eat onion concoctions on any more trips.
I won't do it no more.
I swear. I can change. I can change. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. Luckily, she left to go to her thing, and then the rest of that evacuated my body into the toilet. So.
That don't feel good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do better.